Hey guys, it's Grim and welcome back to a new video. Yeah guys, so as you can see in the title, this video is about how to properly defend your homeland cities. There's a lot of topics I'm going to touch in this video. Probably going to be a little bit of a longer video. Now I'm not going to have footage of early gameplay of what it's like to start. If you guys don't already know about, all that stuff to do on day one, then you could just watch one of my series. I have a bunch of information, talking about all the stuff you should do on day one. So once you're already pretty far in the game, I would say maybe day 15, anything later than that, maybe day 20, etc. Pretty much what you want to do is that you want to just strengthen your homeland cities and build up a bunch of troops. And what that could mean is that, say in this homeland city, I'm just constructing a bunch of stuff. You definitely got to get your armored fighting vehicles. It doesn't have to be an armored fighting vehicle. It could be any type of, it could be a tank destroyer, any type of armored unit. But I would say at least put, a few motorized infantry, an armored fighting vehicle in each of your cities. And that's just because if anyone attacks you, and say they have to come through this city right here, the city of, what city is this called? Tampa. Okay, so say if someone attacked me and they wanted to come through Tampa, well, they'd have to go through this one already at the city, which is a few infantry units and a fighting vehicle. And say they waypointed, so they're gonna attack here and here. Well, it's gonna be very hard to do because these units here are defending that, so it's not really possible unless they have like a huge very, very, very strong unit that they've made up, that they've been building up. And I'm going to show you actually combat that. And this is one of the ways you could do it. You always got to at least have a certain amount of troops and armored vehicles and stuff like that in your cities, or else the enemy at any moment could be attacking. But I would say the biggest thing other than that, and that's like everyone could do that early game. Like everyone can do that as soon as you can in the game that you just started on. Just build up a bunch of troops. Only send little ones out to conquer AI countries around you and stuff like that. But just start slow and make sure you're very well defended, because people in this game are very aggressive and they're power hungry, and they get very eager to take down what you have and start attacking other countries. And as long as you take over the AI countries around you and start building up your cities, mobilizing troops, you'll be fine. And definitely start researching multiple things here. Definitely got to research any of the infantry. I recommend just motorized. Mechanized is good too, National Guard. But as soon as the couple of first days, you definitely want to either do National Guard or motorized infantry. Then day 5, day 10, already start researching your vehicles. In the support tab, the artilleries are great. I really like the multiple rocket launchers. Day 5 you can research that, and it takes a level 3 army base, so just keep that in mind. The mobile anti-air vehicle is very good. I don't use them as much now because I'd rather use the SAM launcher and just have that on its own. But the mobile anti-air is very good because they can attack ground troops and all that stuff, and they're okay against air, but not nearly as good as the mobile SAM launcher. Like for example, if you have a mobile SAM launcher, a bunch of tanks, infantry, a support unit, you're pretty much invincible in terms of a ground force, as long as you got all of those. Helicopters are pretty good too. Say if there's not a lot of people playing in the game, and there's a bunch of rogue states, or just like not much going on, and maybe you only know the enemy only has researched infantry, then definitely go with the helicopter gunship. They just tear down the infantry. Yeah, they're lightly armored targets or soft, so yeah, they just mow down the infantry. That's what they're really used for. The attack helicopter is kind of like the opposite version of that. They're really good against armored vehicles, and this helicopter is I rarely see this one. It's really good against submarines, so it's kind of like a niche type of unit, but they're actually pretty good against submarines, so that's something to keep in mind. Fighters, you definitely want the air superiority fighters. Now, the thing with having fighters is that it's something I think you should develop later, but you should kind of develop it like soon, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of confusing, but I would say, when you're... Oh, I don't know what that was. Okay. I would say I would say when you're a few days in, definitely start researching the air superiority fighter, just the regular one, because um, any type of these, any fighter in general, anything that flies in the sky, the air superiority fighter is meant to take it out. So, like, strike fighters have no chance against it because they're attacking ground units. Air superiority fighters, they're the king of the skies. It says it in the name, air superiority. They are meant to take down all of these. So if you, I definitely, at least if you're researching anything in the sky, definitely consider researching this. You really just need this. Like, this is a necessity. As far as everything else here, it's kind of all the same stuff. It's either strike or air superiority. And the UAVs are also pretty good. They can get really shot down and all that stuff. So, but if you're kind of, you know, if tensions are high between another nation but you haven't declared war on them, I definitely recommend UAVs because they research really quickly. It takes like 1 day, and you have them. You can mobilize them really quickly, and you only need an airbase level 1. So yeah, UAVs are actually pretty good to scout other nations. Heavies, yeah, they're actually pretty good. I say definitely pair them with the air superiority fighters, so your heavies can't get shot down by other air superiority fighters as easily. Definitely just use the bombers. I mean, the other ones with the that are like the kind of radar units, like these two, I'm pretty sure. They're just like a big like radar wherever they're flying. They're good, but you know, you're not gonna really, like, by the time, you know, they go back and forth to the base because they have to refuel, I wouldn't say they're as useful as you'd think, but they are pretty good because you do get a sense of like where the enemy is when you use it in scout. But then again, you also need whatchamacallit, fighters with them to make sure they are protected because they are very weak on their own. So you definitely want to do that. I'd say out of all of these though, yeah, the stealth bomber is definitely really good because it could scout like the rest of them, and it can scout undetected as well as bombs. So yeah, the stealth bomber is really good. But yeah, now we're to the Navy. So the thing about with the Navy, let me get out of this real quick. It depends on where you're kind of stationed, like where your country is, whatever game mode you're doing. So let me give a good example. So say I'm playing Battleground USA, which is this game mode, and I want to, or I'm like this. I'm right here. I'm Colorado, right? This is my state or the country I'm controlling, right? I'm in like the middle of a bunch of land. Like, I'm not even close to water, so I'm not even gonna consider having a navy. Now, say I am, let's see here. Say I am this right here, Yucatan, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have four of my homeland cities are either on the water or can be targeted by a naval unit on the water. So I definitely need to consider, you know, getting naval troops, because if anyone attacks me and I don't have naval troops, and even if I have, you know, units in my cities defending them, if I don't have navy, I'm gonna get wiped out, because those navy units, if you have them at the border, and you do have security council and you do have them on aggressive, they automatically target anything in the area that comes in. So you'll be completely fine if any kind of unit comes in and wants to attack you. But yeah, the Navy is very, very important. If you like, yeah, you could start as Colorado, and you know you're gaining a lot of ground, say, and then you eventually get over here, and then maybe you think about, okay, maybe I should annex a city, start a navy, because now if I'm continuing to push down here, I'm gonna have an annex city, say right up here, and then they're building naval units to take out all the rest of these cities just to make it easier. But the Navy is just so important. I mean, definitely for me in this game, because look, I'm the state of Florida, and all my homeland cities are all pretty much on the water. Let's see here, I have 5 of them on the water, and I think maybe this one could be targeted by someone on the water. So I need to have, you know, very good protection in the water. And if you think about it, all the maps have water in it, and they have a good amount of water. Like World War III is mostly water, just because of our planet, it's mostly water, right? And most of the maps just have a tremendous amount of water. If you do not have a navy, you are just messing up. You need to have a navy. So let's actually go to the research tab and see what we have. Yeah, so Corvette, frigate, destroyer, cruiser, aircraft carrier. So this is what I'll say for each one. Corvette, they're good. If you are happen to be a state or a country on the water, I would definitely immediately start researching the Corvette, because you could just do it day one, and you only need like a naval base level 2. So you can get those mobilizing by day 2, day 3, day 4 in good amounts. But the only thing I don't like about them is they cost supplies, and at that point in the game you're kind of like getting low on supplies, because at that point you've already built army bases, recruiting offices, all that stuff, and you're probably researching something, so you won't really have a lot of supplies. So that's the only thing I don't like about them, but that's only for very early game. Frigates are also good. They actually do have a thing against air. So say if someone has like a really strong air unit surveilling the area, you could use these frigates and they could actually defend themselves against those air units, because they have an anti-air. Solid anti-air, which is very good. But besides that, they're not really that important. Other than that, destroyers and cruisers are like the big boys. Like they're the ones like you really need in your naval fleet. Definitely research the destroyer, because you can only get the cruiser if you research the destroyer first. These guys just attack ground units really strongly. They defend well against submarines. They're good against other naval units. So they're kind of like the king of the seas, the destroyer and the cruiser. Pretty much the cruiser is just a stronger version of the destroyer, I would say. They have like some differences. I know the cruiser can launch missiles off rip, and I would definitely say that the cruiser is definitely better. But yeah, obviously that takes day 3, and I think you need naval base level 4. So you're not mobilizing them till like day 8, 9, 10 type of thing. But yeah, you definitely want destroyers and cruisers for your naval fleet mainly, and they also cost components to make, which is probably easier than supplies, because you're using supplies for a lot of other stuff in the game. But aircraft carriers, aircraft carriers I've actually recently been using a lot, and I never really saw their value. Newer player, but I've been playing for a while now. And yeah, aircraft carriers are very good. Let me actually show you guys what I have going on in this game. So I have an aircraft carrier here, and you can see I have him with 5 other Corvettes stacked up with each other. So in case anyone else were to attack me, I do have the Corvettes that could help out with that. I got this other one here too with another Corvette, and these both have helicopters on them as well. And that's the whole purpose essentially of a aircraft carrier, is to carry other fighters, helicopters. But they only carry certain ones. I know that the helicopters can go on it, attack, and the Sea King helicopter can go on it. But only certain fighters can go on it. So the Naval Air Superiority Fighter, yes, can go on it. You get that by day 4. These ones cannot go on it. They're different. Stealth Air, I don't think can go on it. Maybe you guys can check that out. The Naval Strike Fighter can go on it. UAVs, I'm not 100% sure if they can go on it. But the aircraft carriers are very important, because it's pretty much like a mobile fortress. Like, say I wanted to, this is actually a good example here. I have a bunch of units about to attack all of this land right here and capture these cities, right? I didn't do this, but if I wanted to, I could take this aircraft carrier, send it, move it right here, and what that would do essentially is, since my aircraft carrier would then be stationed there, I could then have all these helicopters, boom, send one there, boom, send one there, boom, send one there. And essentially it's like a mobile fortress, and it's very powerful because you have the Corvettes or whatever you have, destroyers hopefully, or cruisers, defending it. And what that does, it makes it like, so that really cannot be attacked, that aircraft carrier. Of course it can, but you're gonna need a lot. The enemy would need a lot of naval, kind of a big naval fleet to destroy that, and you're pretty much just destroyed their whole cities, because you have helicopters now. attacking all of this. You have a defended mobile fortress with the aircraft carrier, and you're attacking all their cities with your fighters or your helicopters. So yeah, it's really, really powerful and important. Now it is like more of a, let me stop that. It is more of a whatchamacallit, a late game thing, because you're definitely not gonna have the whatchamacallit. You're definitely not gonna have the aircraft carriers at like a day 4 or anything, because yes, you can research them day 4, but you know, by that time you're already researching this, you're researching your infantry, you're trying to get all of that, you know, leveled up as fast as you can. It's more of like a day 10, day 15, day 20 thing, because at that point, yes, you do have your destroyers, your cruisers, and you have to make a naval base level 5 to get these guys mobilized. So it's a very expensive, and they also cost you know, research or rare materials to make. So they're very costly, but they are worth it 100%. No doubt that they're worth it. Yeah, submarines here. Submarines are great. There's only 2. There's the attack submarine, which is great for just attacking other vessels. Very good for that. You definitely need, you know, a submarine and a cruiser or destroyer. That would pair very well with a aircraft carrier as well. The ballistic missile submarine isn't really good for attacking other boats and stuff like that, but of course it could launch missiles. Now, I don't really think that's needed unless you needed to, like, I don't know, it's very situational. Like, you could have a naval fleet that you're going against, but they're really strong on land, but they have a weak naval fleet. This would work because, you know, you could still take out a few of their ships, and then you could launch your nukes and all that stuff onto their homeland cities. But yeah, the only really good one I feel like from this is the attack submarine, and you want to pair that with, you know, your destroyer, your cruiser, all that stuff, which can make a very, you know, very powerful unit. And yeah, you guys know about the missiles, so we'll not talk about that. But yeah, that's kind of how you guys should plan out, you know, you kind of the future of, you know, how you should play this game. I might mention a few more other things. Like, I have radars here. These are very good because, say if you have a bunch of land that you conquered near your homeland cities, you want to put these radars because they're very, very, very easy to research and quick to make. Let's see here. Yeah, the mobile radars, you get them day 3, you can research them, and they're very, like, they cost like pretty much nothing. And I think they only, you can make them with a level 1 or level 2 army base. And yeah, it's very good to have them because you could pair them with your, you know, your ground force. Like, say if I wanted to pair them with this, actually I think I have one over here. Yeah, so you see how this whole thing, now I could see any unit can pop up, and I could see them on this huge radar that I have now, and also adds to the HP of the armored division or ground unit that you have. So yeah, you want to put a few radars in random provinces, scatter them around, so, you know, these bubbles, these areas, you could see, like, if someone had a naval unit right here and they were going to attack me, I could see that before, you know, before they know that I'm even here, and this radar will detect them and all that good stuff. So you want to have radars, or, you know, you want to have fighters, you know, scanning the areas, but the radars are really good because they're cheap to make and they cover a big amount of ground, and you could even upgrade them with the research and make their bubbles or their radars even larger so you could see what's going on. But yeah, put them in your homeland cities so you can kind of get a good sense of what's going on if anyone attacks you. And yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I could say here. But yeah, definitely get your cities up, upgrade your cities, put all that stuff in. You guys already know about this. Mobilize your units. Definitely have like a set amount of units, like what, 2 or 4 infantry and like 2 armored fighting vehicles or something like that. It's very good to have in your cities. Another good thing I think I'll mention here, and I did it in this game, is that, so these are all my homeland cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Now, I annexed a city. You guys know about annexing cities. It's adding another city to your kind of like, to your repertoire, to your portfolio. And what that does, it allows you to construct things and actually mobilize troops in that city that you annexed. And so what I did for this one is I annexed this city. This city cannot be attacked by any naval troops. So you want to always annex a city that is harder to get to, and harder to for enemies to attack, and easier for you to defend. So that's exactly what I did here. No naval unit can attack it. It's very close to my other cities, which have a lot of units around it. And what I started doing is I put up a bunch of buildings, and I actually moved my capital here. And the reason I did that is because I'm taking land up here, but I'm gonna take this whole land now over here. And my capital used to be here, and you'd want the capital of your city to be closer to what you're attacking, because it makes the morale go up faster in these cities. So once I conquered a city, right, I have to wait until it gets to 35% morale, or until I move my troops out of there, or else the unit or the city will actually get taken over by a rogue state. And you don't want that, because it's just very annoying, because then you have to go back with that unit, kill the rogue state, you're going to lose more HP on that unit, you got to retake the city. So you don't want that. So the rate of which the morale goes up in the city is increased if your capital city is closer to what you're taking over. So that's a very big thing. And also on top of that, even if they destroy this city, yeah, all my cities might go rogue and stuff like that, and it might be bad with all these cities, what's going on. But my homeland cities, that's not even a homeland city for me, like, it's, yeah, I have an annexed city, but these are my homeland cities, and this is what I really have to protect, because this is what makes me all my resources to continue playing the game, essentially. So that's why it's kind of like almost a diversion tactic, and I have a huge unit here to protect it anyways. So yeah, another thing to think about. But yeah, guys, I covered a lot in this video. I hope you guys kind of got a sense of how to like properly defend your cities. It's pretty much just have a good naval fleet is one of the biggest things, if not the biggest. Have a strong unit of ground forces in each city. Have your fighters, your helicopters patrolling over your cities as much as you can. Put your aircraft carriers out, later game, so they could be your mobile fortress and attack or defend your land whenever you need to. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I covered a lot in this video, like I said. This is what was the title of this video? How to properly defend your homeland cities. Yeah. So I hope you guys got a good idea of how to do it. And yeah, if you guys like this type of content, I have plenty of more Conflict of Nations content on my channel. So if you guys are interested, definitely go check it out. And like and subscribe and comment what you guys want to see next. And yeah, guys, Grim out.